Hello. Now, this is a different perspective and backdrop, isn't it? And that's because I've been spending a couple of days, I've had a couple of days off, rearranging my spare room library with new shelves. Added content at the end of this video. Hang in there and you will see the new shelves. But in the meantime, let's review The Clocks by Agatha Christie. This should be a fairly easy review. Can you really spoiler an Agatha Christie? I guess you can. But whatever. So I've got a Fontana edition, and like many of the Fontana editions, which are really common in Australia, but apparently not everywhere around the world, they tend to be in not great conditions, especially when you purchase them from op shops or thrift stores. This one opens straight to the first page, and I consider myself lucky that the first page is even there, to be honest. Now, The Clocks is allegedly Hercule Poirot number 39. And as Agatha Christie was famously known for not liking her character of Hercule Poirot, but having to continue writing Hercule Poirot because everyone loved him so much, by number 39, she is done with him. And I never liked Hercule Poirot all that much either, to be honest. I mean, I'll cope with him, but he's not my favourite of her characters by any means. So The Clocks is very much my cup of tea, in that Hercule Poirot is a selling point, but he's not a major part of the actual story at any point, and he certainly doesn't exist in the beginning. Now, this starts essentially as a really pretty cool English style 60s, I think it's a 60s book. Yes, published 1963. A thrillery, mystery, spyish novel of the kind that England did really, really well. Agatha Christie may be the most famous of the people who did that, but there were plenty other ones like Marjorie Allingham. Great mystery writers that were funny, were fun, sometimes funny too, but mostly fun. And these days you hear a lot about cozy reads. Well, these guys were actually doing it long before it became a hashtag. So if you do like cozy books, sorry if I sound so sarcastic about that. Or if you like mystery in general, check out some of the early English writers. They were good. In this one, we start with a scenario where you've got a temp type agency. It's never really spelled out, but apparently you've got stenographers and typists, and it's run by a very martinet, I suppose the word would be, businesswoman called Miss Martingale. Now, it starts off elaborating her character by the fact that she is so about one of her typists getting even 3 minutes late from lunch. But when she does get back, Sheila Webb is sent out to 19 Wilbraham Crescent in order to accept a new job from a client called Mrs. Pebmarsh, who asked for her specifically. Now, that's pretty cool. Our other main character is Colin Lamb, and his narrative is also really good. So you've got these two narratives that come together when Sheila Webb reaches the house. She knocks, no one's there. She goes in and turns to the right, waiting in the living room as she was told to do, and there she finds a dead body. Mrs. Pebmarsh, when she arrives, turns out to be a blind woman. So really, there's that level of uncertainty. How long has the dead man been there? And more importantly, to the actual title of this book, why are there all of a sudden dozens of clocks in the room, all set to a specific hour, instead of just the 2 clocks that would normally be there? Once again, since they're all stopped, we can't rely on the person who lives there, Mrs. Pebmarsh, to know that they are there because she's blind. On the other hand, is she lying? We don't know. Our protagonist, Colin Lamb, becomes involved because he, in his position as a kinda maybe spy, we don't know, is wandering this Wilbraham Crescent in this small, I gather it's a seaside town, though the sea doesn't appear, looking for a particular number that he can't find. And we're told that this is because of the peculiar architecture of the crescent, where it sort of goes like this. There's a solid wall with no actual houses or entranceways opposite. And because of the way the crescent goes, the alternative numbers are on the other side and all the gardens back onto each other. That's also part of the plot development. Anyway, when Sheila discovers this dead body, she runs screaming out the gate, collides with Colin, and falls into his arms. Insta-love. Colin instantly knows that she is the girl for him. Now, I've always been fairly critical of insta-love, but I actually do know people who had that connection the first time they set their eyes on someone. They said, that is the girl/guy for me. And for some of them, it's worked remarkably well. So I'll accept that. Anyhow, we progress with this really cool investigation. Colin Lamb is actually buddies with the police inspector who comes to inspect this murder. And it just rolls very nicely. Why is it a Hercule Poirot? Well, apparently Colin Lamb, though we never actually know his true surname, Lamb is an assumed one, apparently is the son of someone who did know Hercule Poirot. And there's a tie-in with previous novel, The Lintels or something. I never really figured out what that tie-in is meant to be. I guess you call it an Easter egg these days. Tie-in with another novel, but I couldn't figure out which one. I probably have read it. The surname rings a faint bell, can't remember. Anyway, so about halfway through the novel, Colin goes to see Hercule Poirot to give him all the information that he's got, because Poirot has always claimed that all you really need to solve a crime is to sit in your armchair and engage the grey cells. Think about it. And he does this because he thinks that Poirot, who is aging and not getting out very much, might be bored and need a mystery. Anyway, Poirot solves the mystery, as you would expect, but he isn't really a main feature. So for those of you, like myself, who like Agatha Christie's writing and her mysteries, but find Poirot, like Christie did, a hideous little bounder, and don't like him, The Clocks is absolutely a book for you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Is it Agatha Christie's best work? No, it isn't, but for me, it's up there. It was apparently not terribly well reviewed critically. The fact that Poirot never visits any of the crime scenes or speaks to any of the witnesses, to me, it makes it more interesting, but some people didn't like it. There are various sequences where Poirot talks about other authors, and if you are into mystery, and especially classic mystery, there is a point where Poirot is reviewing a whole heap of mystery writers, including Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Sherlock Holmes is mentioned. Fake characters like Ariadne Oliver, who Christie also invented and mentioned. But it's like this review of all these other mystery writers that Agatha Christie may have enjoyed. So there's a lot to enjoy there. I'm not going to seriously spoiler it. I'm not going to tell you who done it. I'm not going to tell you why done it. I think some of the clues along the way are going to be as visible to you as to me. And if you really want to know, of course, there's the internet. Wikipedia will tell you all this. I won't. I will just say that I enjoyed this book quite a bit. It was a bit of a relief from David Brin, who disappointed me on the last book I was reading. And now I am going to #DieNovember and move into Brian Aldiss's An Age with This Dinosaur Hatching on the cover. And now for the added content, as people like putting. This may not work. This may work so poorly. I know so little about technology. This could go badly. Okay, so for the last couple of days, we have put in some bookshelves over the windowsill, running across all that empty room that would likely be completely wasted otherwise, up the top of my last purpose-built bookshelf, and all the way over the door, which also has books on the other side, by the way. So that wraparound top bookshelf takes care of A through B and takes us all the way into C and D. I'm very proud of it. And that is why I am currently facing away from the window, which would normally provide all the natural light I needed for recording. Brief view down into the to read region, blocked by my chair. Oh well, you all know that I'm no techno giant, don't you? Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and read good books.